We're back.
Welcome back, sir.
And the people, they were not
Yes.
happy we took a week off.
You endured a lot of abuse, didn't you?
They were very unhappy. So everybody, we're back. Sometimes we gotta keep people on their toes. You can't just assume we're gonna be there.
Mhm.
You gotta appreciate us every week we are there.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't want you to think about us is that we're reliable for sure. Yeah, that's the narrative we want to drive home.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Okay, that's the thing.
Listen, I'm glad for this for two reasons. One,
Mm,
people really like the show.
yeah,
And when we miss it, they notice. And
they do.
two, it wasn't my fault. So you got all the heat.
That's true.
I'm thrilled. This is great for me. This is 2 for 2.
You never miss. I'm always the one missing. I'm the misser.
I only miss when I get all tied up,
Yeah.
if you know what I'm saying. That's the only time I miss. And then other than that, I'm here.
It's only if you're in surgery that you miss.
Only if
That's
I'm in
it.
surgery. I took a call from the car one time when Caleb was launching because the
that's
power was
right.
out in the studio.
Yes.
I had the worst connection. I was calling in on a series of pipe cleaners. It was
Yes, that was
so
bad.
bad. But I was
Yep.
there. I was there.
You were there. Well, I'm too old for that stuff. Sometimes, I just can't make it happen. Sometimes the old guy has to
Yeah.
take a day off. Gotta give me a break. Put me on the bench for a game. It's all right. I'm back now though.
All right.
But
We need to talk about why you were on the bench, why you were out of town, why you let the people down. You did a big trip. You had a lot of fun, it sounds
yes,
like.
it was great. Had a big trip. Went to Wire Live, the
Okay.
inaugural Wire Live, which is
Mm-hmm.
a Livewire conference thrown by Caleb and the Thunk Boys, and it was great. It was in Buffalo, New York, which I never thought I'd even go to Buffalo, New York, but
Why
I
would
was.
you?
Oh, why would you, right? But it
Sorry,
turns out
Caleb.
Buffalo is a very nice place. It was better than expected. Your expectations are so low, that when it's actually, it's easy to exceed them. And it did. It was, and not even just like a little bit. I was great. We did some fun stuff. We can go through it all. But yeah, Buffalo was great. I took the train like a proper 1800s gentleman up
Mm-hmm.
to the Great North. That was great. Highly
So that
recommend.
probably only took you 20 to 40 hours, depending
I
on
know you would
Amtrak
think
traffic.
that.
Yeah.
Well, it actually ended up being no big deal. It was 6.5 hours.
Okay.
And because they have a pretty direct train, there are other trains, but they have like layovers and places, and that would have been like 9 hours.
Is it high speed? So is it like
It is
35, 40
not.
miles per hour?
Right. Well, it's like
Yeah.
35, 40 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
that's
It's not
so
high-
fast.
not high
That's
speed.
crazy.
But
America
here's the thing.
rules.
So my choices are drive,
Mm.
which is fine, but it's also like about 6 hours or so. It's
6
not
is
much faster.
just beyond my limit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the nice, it's 3.5 hours, fine. I'm automatically
Mhm.
driving. So it's like 6 hours. Like the electric car, I'm gonna have to stop to charge, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so get that. So I could do that. That would be my A plan generally. The B plan was like, okay, an airplane, of course. But for me, it means I either gotta do a layover somewhere from a local airport, which is not happening, or I gotta drive to New York City. I gotta deal with traffic. I gotta park for $100 a day. It takes 2 hours to drive down there. So that's 2 hours down there. You got to be there 2 hours early, whatever, flights, blah, blah.
And if you go through New York City, you're either going to get stabbed or pooped on. So.
Obviously, that's what they
Yep.
claim, but it's not true. Just on a little side note, just yesterday, I went for a beautiful hike through the woods next to a river.
See, that's
in New
ideal.
York City. In New York
In New
City.
York
I was in New
City?
York City.
What?
I
Was
was
this like
in
a
the
virtual
Bronx.
reality
The
experience or what?
Bronx, like what would ostensibly be the scariest part of New York City.
Yeah.
I was in the Bronx and had a beautiful hike on a 140-acre park along the Hudson River. It was fantastic. So
Oh, that sounds nice.
there's a little New York City for you. But yes, so all that, like go to New York City, take a plane, actually is longer than 6 hours and more expensive and more hassle. So I didn't really want to do that. So the train picked me up in my city. Like boom, picked me up right in Poughkeepsie.
It came by.
And
It came
it
by.
just came by.
It picked you up.
It was like
I
within a
must
couple
not know
miles
as much about trains
of my
as I
house.
thought I did because I
Yeah,
didn't
you
think
don't
they
know.
could like swing by. I thought it was
They
kind of a
swung
fixed
by.
thing. That's
That's
awesome.
because you're from Texas. You don't even know
Yeah,
about
I
trains.
guess.
They don't even have
Yeah,
trains in Texas.
I'm thinking of old school trains that like stay on the tracks and go, direct places. But nice
Yeah,
of
they
them
like
to swing by, pick you up. That's great.
They swung right by, so that was very convenient. And then, got a business class ticket, a
Oh,
little
that's
room,
nice.
and
Wi-Fi on the train?
they do have Wi-Fi. It was okay, not amazing, but it was fine. There was actually internet in general, though, for most of the ride, which I'm kind of surprised about because you wouldn't expect this, but most of New York State is extremely rural, and this train goes through the much of this extremely ruralness of New York State.
What's the name of your town? Where do you live?
Poughkeepsie,
Poughkeepsie. Okay.
Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie. Okay, Poughkeepsie.
So it's right on the Hudson River. So the train goes up the Hudson River,
Okay.
stopping at various points,
Uh-huh.
hits Albany, makes a left at Albany, and then just goes out that way to
Okay.
Buffalo.
Okay. And then Buffalo. This is good radio. I'm putting it into
It's great. Yeah,
maps.google.com. Oh,
yeah,
wow, that is far away.
yeah. New York State's big.
New York State is really big. Okay. All right, cool.
So yeah, so the train was good. The little food car, which
Mm,
was not amazing, but actually was not as bad as you might expect. I read
mhm.
online that the mac and cheese was solid, so I got the mac and cheese on the way
Mm.
back. Actually, it was good.
Nothing like mac and
You
cheese
know,
from a train.
had some snacks and whatever. It was fine. Free non-alcoholic beverages since I was in
Mhm.
business class, so that was a
Crushing some
nice little perk.
sodas.
Yeah, crushed some
Yep,
sodas.
love
Sure.
that.
Had a little decaf coffee. I've been
Okay.
dipping my toe back in the coffee game a little bit, just the
Love that for
decaf
you.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, so hitting that. Are you a coffee man?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
So
Not like a coffee snob, I just drink a lot of it. I'm
right.
not very sophisticated, I just like it.
So I haven't had coffee in 12 years.
I
No
know.
coffee,
I
none.
know.
But this last couple weeks, it was very nice being at a conference, having a coffee. What's better than that? So
Nothing.
yeah, so I had the decaf. Can't go to the hard stuff. I'm never going back to the hard stuff, but it was nice to have a decaf coffee. Yeah, so that was the trip up there. So far so good. It was
So
got
far,
to
so good.
Buffalo, hung out with a bunch, get there, see like the vehicle guys, hung out with them and
So did you get there on day
stunt
0, I
guys.
assume?
Yes. So I
Okay.
got there on day 0. Caleb talked about this in his podcast a little bit, but he wanted to do kind of a mostly technical party
I heard.
vibe.
We got the name drop. I love
Yes.
that for us.
So he did the little last minute party thing, which was great. I actually only made it to like the last like half an hour of that, but made it to that, whatever, had fun, chatted, blah blah. Yeah, and then next day was the conference. The hotel was really nice. Dug the hotel.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good, and the venue was in the hotel, but it wasn't like like a normal generic hotel venue. It was like
Yeah, it looks
this old
beautiful.
theater. Yeah, it was really cool. Apparently, it used to be some kind of gentleman's club, not the modern interpretation of that word, but more the old school.
When
Just
gentlemen were actually gentlemen.
yes,
They would come
and they would
together and
sit
talk
there
about
and
literature and smoke cigars and stuff.
exactly drink
Yeah.
a scotch, whatever. Yeah, so it was a really nice theater.
All right, give
I
us a
think it,
sense of, for those that aren't plugged into the Livewire world, approximate number of attendees, shapes of the programming, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so it was, I think he said 125 people. I
Okay.
think it was like a good amount. It was like it was small enough that I think everybody wanted to talk to Caleb. Got to talk to Caleb, which was cool, and
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like the place was overwhelmed, but it also wasn't empty. It was like just right. I think that worked out good.
For a first year in Buffalo, that's incredible.
Yeah, I think thought it would be much less, and a lot of people flew. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people. I was surprised how many people flew from Europe, from
Yeah, from the
Eastern
old world.
Europe. Yeah, so it was crazy, and just a big picture. I think the format of the conference was really nice. It was like
Okay.
one day of talks,
Mm-hmm.
and the second day was just kind of a hang, a
Okay.
sweet hang, you might say.
Love a sweet hang.
And it was just people could if you wanted to, like they did like a hackathon, and we're back in the main room, and you could hack on something. But a lot of people were just like working or chatting or whatever. I was in the working
So it was
chatting
in the
group.
same venue. Day 2 was in the
Yeah,
same venue. Ah,
right.
I like that. That's
Yep,
comfortable.
yep. And it has the venue is set up with just big round tables. So
Mm-hmm.
even the first day and the second day, you had plenty of space, not like where you're just filed into like,
Mm-hmm.
normal seating. So that was pretty nice. But yeah, it was like you're just back in the same venue day 2. Everybody was uh, just hanging out, chatting, roaming around. By the end of it, I think there was still like 30 something people there out of the 120s, which is pretty good because usually you lose half the people day 2, just like kind of
Easily, yeah.
anyway. Yeah, it was great. And some people hung out in the morning and then, caught a plane or train or whatever they're doing or drove in the afternoon and left. I like the vibe. I think it was like perfect for like what Livewire is. Like it doesn't like to do like 3 days of Livewire is
Yeah,
obviously too
yeah,
much, or even 2 full days of talks, I think would be too much.
especially this close after Laracon, which is,
Right.
not a Livewire conference, but is adjacent.
Right. And it has some Livewire topics or whatever. So yeah, I thought it was like the perfect amount. The talks were good. And, Caleb's talk was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
Great.
They did a great job. Yep, did a great job.
Good job, Caleb and the Thunk Boys.
Yeah, they pulled it off. Like I would say there was no big hiccups. Like as far as
That's amazing.
when I've run an in-person conference before, it was felt more stressful. So
Mhm.
they were on top of things, and food was super good, and all those little kind of details. There was no drama that I'm aware of. And then yeah, we got what else did we do? I think they're doing the videos, so people will all watch the videos. So I won't go into like the
Oh,
crazy
cool.
detail, all the talks. But Livewire 4 is awesome. Livewire 4 like settles all family business as far as I'm
Yeah, yeah,
concerned.
yeah.
Like,
So you seemed, I got a note in a chat about Livewire 4 being amazing, and
right,
you're just thrilled to death, and
thrilled to death.
everything is, in your words, fixed. So
It's
like,
all fixed.
what did he do on stage for Livewire 4 that just blew your mind so much?
I mean, it's like a lot of little things. So like probably the biggest one was like what he talked about at or one of the big, not necessarily even the biggest to me, but important was like speed issues,
Okay.
things like that when you have a lot of blade templates, which just isn't really a Livewire issue per se. It's more of just a if you build something with blade issue. So now he has this blaze package, which doesn't do everything. It's not a total solution, but it does make a lot of stuff much, much faster. And once you have access to it and you know about it, you can optimize your own stuff to take advantage of it.
Mhm.
So, and Flux is optimized for it. So, most Livewire apps are going to be much faster, which is a key thing because you're waiting for something to render on the server in Livewire and then get sent back down the pipe to the front end.
Mhm.
So, if that is slow, obviously that's, going to be a poor user experience for something which ostensibly is to be reactive
Right.
effectively and to be fast. And there was tons of little workarounds and hacks and whatever, all kinds of stuff you could do to make it faster. But this sort of lets you build it the way you would expect to be able to build the app and then still have it be fast without going through too much extra shenanigans. So I think
No any
that's good for
more
like,
incantations like there used to be.
right. Not as much of that. And for like a bigger app, a real app, again, it's all these things are like, oh, I can build a fake little app and make everything
Right.
super fast. And that's fine. But like when you actually build a real app and you have 50 million rows you're trying to show and a dense amount of data and all this stuff, then you hit these things more. So, yeah. So I think the speed is huge. I think there's like a lot of like new tools to make things faster in other ways. Like there's this concept of islands that he talked about at Laracon, where like you can have part of the page that's kind of its own little world, which you can then be refreshing or not refreshing or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm.
depending on what you're trying to do. Make it so it doesn't re-render when other things do re-render, so you don't have interruptions or slowness or whatever. So a lot of stuff there. I haven't even dug too much into the island stuff.
So let me pause you. Let's go
Yeah,
back to Blaze for a second.
yeah,
So Laravel has a templating engine called Blade.
hmm
Livewire's a Laravel package. There's now a new thing in the Livewire world called Blaze with a Z,
yes, hmm
which is like Blade, but has that sense of being faster because it's got a Z in it.
yeah,
Blaze. I love that.
I like that.
So is Blaze like a composer package that you install that like automatically like statically compiles Blade? Is it internal to Livewire and you never have to think about it? Like where's the responsibility lie for the end user or I guess the developer?
Yeah, so you have to install it separately. It's its own
Okay.
package. It has nothing at all to do with Livewire. So it's
Oh,
not
okay.
connected to Livewire at all. It's basically strictly a Blade enhancement package. And it's
Okay.
enhancing the rendering engine of Blade.
Okay.
And you have to opt into it further. So you don't installing it does nothing. So you
Cool.
install it and then you have to put at Blaze at the top of your Blade components,
Okay.
and that will then use the Blaze compiler instead of the normal Blade compiler.
Okay.
And that will do magical things primarily through like code folding and other things I don't fully
Mhm.
understand to figure out what it can optimize, what it doesn't need to work dynamically, basically.
Okay.
So this part is a little bit confusing. I haven't totally wrapped my head around it, but basically, if you're passing like dynamic data in, it doesn't really do anything for you. It has some
Mhm.
other little optimizations that make it slightly faster, but it's not going to be radically faster. But places where you get more static type of blade components, and those are much, much faster. So
Got it.
it's not fully static, but it's like you can pass things into slots and stuff. So if you're building like a table and you have like the cell as a component and the row as a component and the whatever,
The
the whole thing's
icon
a
is a
component, right?
component.
Right. All that stuff. A lot of that should be much faster, or
Got
you
it.
can at least construct it to be faster. So that type of stuff is what it's really designed for. There's other elements where like it can't improve it because it needs access to like I know one of the examples he's given is like it needs access to the error bag. And
Right,
if you have something that needs access to the error bag, like that has to be dynamic. Or if you have access to the request, like it can't pre-compile it because the request is
Mm,
different every time. Or if you're accessing like auth user stuff, that can't be pre-compiled because it needs access to that. So again, I think long term there's gonna be like tricks to some of this stuff potentially
mhm,
when you need ultra optimization of like, well, can I do something in one component and then pass the output of that to a different component, which is able to be compiled, and some of that can maybe
mhm.
be helpful if it's being looped over and whatever, blah blah. But everything is much faster. Like in practical terms, it pretty much instantly make things in like outro like 2 times faster, 3 times faster. And
Sounds
that's
like you need
without
to
me going through
Laravel
and
new it
optimizing.
then. Yeah, if there's this new paradigm, you gotta start outro all over again from scratch. Don't smile like that. Do not. Oh no.
Laravel
No.
dude
No, you're
lives! It
kidding.
lives!
You're
It
kidding. You're doing
lives!
it over again?
Dude.
Ian. Oh
So
no.
so
I thought,
here's
what
what
is the
happened.
most absurd callback I can make to give the people a little laugh on
Uh,
their drive to work? And you just stone cold stared into the camera. You're kidding me.
Laravel knew forever. Never
Ian,
ship. Laravel knew forever.
I gotta
I
get you
want to do a talk
stickers.
next year at Laracon.
I
Never
gotta
ship.
get you stickers made that say "We mustn't ship."
We mustn't
That is
ship.
the
Yes.
new Ian sticker. We
Yes.
mustn't ship.
We
You
must keep building.
are insane. This is
Laravel
the worst.
knew.
This is the worst news I have potentially heard all morning, and I've been up for a few hours now.
Oh no, Laravel knew. It's
Okay,
so
I
good.
don't know where to
Should
go from here.
do we take a little detour on Laravel
this
new, or do we want to hold on that?
this is what happens when you make little jokes. You know, you can't make little jokes because then the show gets derailed. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep the people. Let's bait them. Let's keep going
Okay.
on Livewire while I recompose myself,
Yeah, you might have questions.
and then we'll get around to Laravel new, which is a disaster. Okay,
Laravel new.
so Blaze.
Yeah. so, but, so that's pretty much the Blaze story. It makes your
Sure.
shit faster. Use it. If you use Flux, which you should absolutely be using, Flux is already pre-blazedified, so it's just gonna like magically make stuff faster that you're using Flux for. So yeah, so I think there's still a lot of work there. That's why he didn't want to like just make it automatically try to enhance all your
Yep.
blade files, because like this is obviously there's a lot of stuff going on internally. Things could go south. So you have to kind of opt into it. At least you'll be able to like turn it on and off very easily and see what breaks and all that kind of stuff. So I think that was all smart and is good. But
I want to
yeah,
make
so
a prediction and a prophecy.
yes.
Just as an aside, I think Laravel needs to hire John Koster,
Mm,
the king of Blade. And I think John's project Forte and Caleb's project Blaze need to be combined and turned into just Blade. Blade just needs to do this. Blade just needs to
yes.
be better. We should take all three of those projects, Blade Original, Forte, which is John's, and Blaze, which is Caleb's. Because I have to imagine Caleb doesn't want to maintain this. Like
Right. I
this
don't think
doesn't
so.
make him money. It just provides for Flux and Livewire to be more performant. So I
Right.
don't feel bad saying that. All three of those should be rolled into one. John should be the Blade Czar inside of Laravel Incorporated, Laravel
I like this.
Holdings LLC. I'm sorry, and Blade should just get better. That is my prophecy. I'm speaking that into the universe.
I like it. I don't know. I don't know if John is happily employed or not, but
Who can
I like
say? It
this.
doesn't
Who
matter.
knows? Who
That's not
cares,
the
right?
point of
You just gotta do what
prophecy.
you gotta
Yeah,
do. Yeah. Right.
exactly.
I totally agree. It should just be part of Blade. I think this is kind of interesting how, I mean, even Taylor's announced that he's like working on like a first party AI package,
I saw
right?
that. Yeah.
And I think that this sort of evolution, I think he even also said that like he's kind of working, I don't know how much he's working with Prism, like directly or indirectly, but
Right.
like this world of like things maybe get kickstarted in the community, and then things that have sufficient traction or are sufficiently important, it turns out, can start to get, backed by the mothership. And
Mhm.
I totally think this is like
This one's pretty
I think
fundamental.
yeah, I think this would be great because it's definitely something you hit a lot in Blade. It's just like all the documentation, everything's pushing you to make components, which like is definitely the best way to make it
Right,
maintainable and
right,
all that stuff. But then you do that, and then you're like, well, I got this table,
right.
20,000 Blade components, and now my page takes 5 seconds to load, and that's not a good experience. So yeah, so it should just be ultra fast out of the box. And this is all, and there's no Livewire stuff in this. So I think seems like all these things should be possible. Yeah, at one point I thought you mean was working with the John guy, but then it seems like he
Yeah,
does
I'm
have
not
his
sure.
own package. So yeah, I don't know if what the deal is there, but
I'm not sure that
yes.
those 2 packages are aiming to solve the same thing. I don't know that
Okay,
for sure. I know
right.
John's is, heavily focused on parsing Blade into an abstract syntax tree, which
Mm,
it is not. It is
right.
just like a bunch of
It's a
string replacements,
regexy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I think John's primary focus is, let's turn this into something that is walkable,
Right.
which I have to imagine enables much of the stuff that Caleb is doing in Blaze. So I think they are compatible. I don't think they're solving the same end, but
Right.
I
It's
don't
like
know that
making
for
it
sure.
a real language of sorts.
Exactly. Hmm.
Yeah. And then, yeah, which presumably then you could use to then build if Blaze, maybe Blaze is already using this thing, maybe it's not, I don't know.
Yeah,
But yes, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I don't remember where I was, but yes, all that. I like that. That's a good prediction. I hope that happens. I think that would be a cool, like, next year at Laracon kind
totally.
of,
Yeah.
yeah, now Blade is 20 times faster, blah. I think
Hmm.
that'd be cool. So tons of other stuff. I mean, there's like a huge thing I found this weekend after I Laravel nude is is I always in general have had this. I first one of the big changes is that now you can have single file components, which you
Okay.
could do with Volt before. So I think this goes further than Volt now. I don't know if Volt really needs to exist anymore. I assume not, but
Hmm.
it'll still be maintained in case you
Yeah.
need the compatibility stuff. But I think the single file components now native to Livewire will do it. So I was not necessarily into this. I was like, I don't like when everything's all mixed in there and
Right.
whatever. It's not my favorite. And you can still do multi-file, and there's like the traditional class based, which is how it's always worked. There's like a new multi-file, which is like a folder with a blade and a JavaScript and a test and whatever,
Cool.
different files, whatever. But I wasn't going to use a single file. But there's a new thing, which is so cool, which is now you can make these namespaces,
Okay.
component namespaces, which is something I always hit. It's like, where do I put, like, my
Hmm.
apps are big, complicated apps. So, like, there's the in outro, there's the app, what I call the app, which is like where you will go in and plan your podcast, right?
Okay.
But then there's like a public facing component of some stuff you can do that's just public. Then there's like an admin panel. Then there's even something else already inherent to it. But anyway, there's like already like 4 or 5 different like sort of zones, and they might have different permissions and
Hmm. In
different
theory, because nothing
layouts
has
and
ever
stuff.
been
Right,
built to
right now there's
fruition, but just
nothing
in
because
theory. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Keep going.
So, so you put those things in folders, and then to call your components becomes this long tree of
Right. Right.
dot
Right.
syntax things, and it all feels a little bit fuzzy. And you have things in multiple places because you have like a Livewire folder, and you have the resources folder with stuff in it and
Hmm.
whatever. So now you got the namespaces. So the namespaces let you do this nice little syntax. It's like app : episodes, let's say, and now that's
Cool.
just the path to your component of that page or whatever. It has several different uses. So now it's like, okay. And now in the resources views directory is where all the Livewire components live. And you don't
Okay.
need the other directory anymore. Like in
Hmm.
the app folder is the traditional Livewire place for it. So now I'm like, so that's kind of brought me around to the single file components because now it's also clean. Now it's like, oh, there's just this one folder with all my Livewire stuff. It's in different folders for different sort of areas of the app, but they're all namespace, so I can reference them nice and easy. You also use these references, for example, in your routing. So when you route, you do like route Livewire, and then if you're doing the homepage, you do a
Mm.
slash, and then you do app : home as like your route. So you don't even have like an import anymore, which I also like. The routes file in a real app gets like gigantic because there's a
It
thousand
does.
imports, whatever.
Hmm.
So now you don't have any of that stuff. Just this like little syntax right to your full page component,
Hmm.
uh, which is now a single file. And that's all great. And then you can still have a components directory for actual components, which are not
Hmm.
full page components, like just a widget that displays the weather, whatever. There's a counter, blah, blah, all those little pieces.
I can't believe Outro's
Um,
doing weather now, but that makes sense.
Understanding
Yeah.
the weather.
Yeah.
Um, so this whole thing is just like a little thing that he threw in there. They thought it'd be nice, and I think it's actually super cool for organizing a bigger, real Laravel slash Livewire app.
Yep.
Like this is like a cool little addition. That is also something that maybe makes sense in Laravel itself in some ways. But so you have that. That was a big thing. Caleb, like I had the greatest one-on-one call. What do we even call these things? What do you call these
Pair
things?
Programming.
Pair programming. I
Yes.
don't even know what they're called because
Yeah.
I've never done it except for one time with Caleb. And Caleb and me did that for an hour or two. And he went off and he took a bunch of my ideas from Outro and made that his talk and basically built all the stuff I would need to build.
Great. So you got scooped. So,
I got scooped,
Outro
but
is
in a great
built,
way.
but not by you. Perfect.
But it's in a great way though, because I was going to have to build all this stuff. And instead I have to build any of it. So now it's like, a
which is
Kanban
your
board
goal,
with
is to not
dragging and
build any
drop-
of it. Yeah, I know that.
So he built all kinds of cool like sorting stuff. There's lots of magical sorting things now that
Kanban board?
Livewire can do. There's Kanban board components coming to Flux. If you, they're very simple, just like the basic shell, which is fine. But it's cool that they're in there. I think that's a good thing for Flux to have in it. But the Livewire parts are really cool because it's like managing all that like cross column dragging and
Totally.
like column dragging and all those things that you'd have to figure out all that stuff and use an external library and blah, blah, blah. Like now it's all magical. It's in Livewire. It works. And obviously there's a lot of other uses for that besides Kanban boards. Now you can do all kinds of sophisticated dragging and dropping, which to me is like a big, if you're going to compete with React and these things, like these are the areas
Gotta
you need to
have
really dig into is
Yep.
some of this front-endy stuff that needs to feel instant, And so I feel like that's a big step forward in that regard. Yeah. So there was some other things that came out of that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to keep talking about code, but like it was cool. A lot of good stuff, a lot of bug fixes, a lot of like, if you've ever used Livewire, one big thing I'll mention is like when you're in loops, you have to put a wire key on the elements in a loop, or otherwise like it can't merge the diffs and gets kind of end up with weird bugs that you don't understand what the hell's going on, and it's not clear. And so now they've fixed that in Livewire 4 where it's detecting loops and putting keys on it for you. So there should be just less of those like people getting started not understanding they need the wire key, or I even hit it fairly often too, where I just like I'm coding through and I forget about putting a wire key and then it makes weird stuff happen. So yeah, so that was with a lot of good code stuff for the people.
A lot of good code.
Check out Livewire.
Yes, a lot of good code. Let's do one quick break and then wrap Wire Live, and then after that I can berate you about Laravel new. But
no.
It is November. Welcome to November. We have a new sponsor. We love new sponsors. ittybit.com. ITTYBIT.com. Ittybit. It's a fun name to say. Yeah. Ittybit is media APIs for developers. Convert, compress, and extract intelligence data from your video, audio, and image files with just a few lines of code. You can start processing for free at ittybit.com. And we got a little, I love a little media work. We know that I've been futzing around with media the whole time. And you know what's great? Whoever wrote this at Ittybit is a listener and a fan of the show, because it says if you're not Aaron and you don't want to worry about the right magical FFmpeg incantation for HLS segments, Ittybit handles all the annoying parts for you. We love a sponsor who listens to the show.
It's the best.
Check out ittybit.com, ittybit.com. Thank you to them for sponsoring the show for the first time.
Yes, thank you. And I think looks like a really awesome service, and definitely the way I would go about it if I needed such a thing.
And if I were a normal person, that's probably what I would. If I valued my time whatsoever, I would probably do that. Yeah.
No, you didn't know about Ittybit before. Now you know.
No, I
so
truly
in
didn't.
The future, you will possibly take that on. So yes, thank you to Ittybit for coming on board.
Pretty website too.
Check them out. Yeah, really cool website. So check that out. All right, got a couple other little Wire Live things I have to touch on because just fun. So the last night of the conference, there was a party, whatever. The first night of the conference, that's all good. Next night, went out to dinner with a bunch of people. Wathen was there.
Fun.
Rennick was there. Caleb, whatever. Did dinner. It was fun. Good time. Okay, so Thursday was poker day. They specifically set aside for poker. So me and Daniel Colborn are going to go to Canada, which is the closest poker, and play poker. So we're on our way. We're in an Uber.
Mhm.
The First of all, the Uber won't go to Canada.
No, I should think not. That's an
Right.
international border,
So
yeah.
so so one option was go to the Rainbow Bridge, which connects, our beautiful countries, and walk over. So that was kind of our plan, but, it's a little bit of a hike, whatever. We weren't actually sure how far the casino was past the bridge, whatever.
That's the sketchiest thing I've ever heard. So, okay, what's
Okay, so we can
option
do
2?
that. Option 2 is, bribe the Uber driver. So
Sure. I take
the
back the sketchiest part. This is now the
that
sketchiest thing I've ever
right.
heard. Okay, keep going.
So that's what I did. We bribed
Sure.
the Uber driver, right? So
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, $50 and I'll just take you across." And I was like, "Okay, great. $50 sold."
Mhm.
So Uber driver's gonna take us across. We go
Mhm.
across. Um, well, we're on our way to go across. And he's like, "Okay, do you have your passports?" And I didn't have a passport, but I knew I had my enhanced ID. And I know my enhanced ID gets you into Canada. Colborne doesn't have his enhanced ID. He thought he has an enhanced ID, but he has a real ID. And a real ID is not an enhanced ID. So we're going
I'm
towards the
I'm
border where
shocked. I'm shocked to find out that Daniel's headed to Canada
yeah.
with no proper documentation. This is
It's
surprising to
shocking,
me.
right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
shocked. So
Of all
we're
people.
we're flying towards the border. We
Yep.
don't know what's gonna happen. He's like, "I'll just get out if it's a problem." But like as we get closer, we see it's not so easy to like just there's nowhere to walk. It's not designed for you to get out and like
Stunning.
walk away.
This whole story.
So,
Yeah.
so I was pretty nervous. We're supposed to like fill out some paperwork that we have money with us, which I don't want to do, so we don't mention the money. The guy at the booth is looking at he's like, "This is not the right document." We're like, "Yeah, we know, we're sorry." And then he lets us through. He let
Oh
us
my
through.
gosh.
He let us through. You thought they're
Why
being all
does the
hardcore on the
universe keep
border.
rewarding your bad behavior?
Oh, the
This is
border.
unbelievable.
We
You
walked right
bribed
through.
an Uber driver to
Yeah.
smuggle an illegal
Uh-huh.
alien into the
That's
country.
exactly what
That's
happened. Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. That's right. You're exactly right. That's what I did. I'm a human
Oh,
trafficker here.
you are.
That's right.
Oh my
So,
gosh. And if
uh,
anybody is listening, well, the government's shut down, so nobody's listening.
yeah,
Never mind. I
right,
was going to say
it's
this is all
fine.
theoretical, but the
Yeah,
government's shut down.
theoretical.
Nobody's listening. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Carry
fine.
on.
A great episode of Andor. Nobody's listening in the big fascist government. I don't know if did you watch Andor? You didn't watch Andor, right?
No,
Oh,
of
it's
course
one of
not.
my favorite episodes of TV ever. Nobody's listening. Yeah, so we get there. The best part about when you bribe your Uber driver, okay, is they want to come back for more bribes.
I
So
bet.
he's like, "Listen, you want to come back? Just call me up and I'll come back and get you."
Mhm,
So I was
mhm,
like,
mhm.
"Great." So now I had my ride home set, which was just gonna be later that night. I wasn't spending the night. It was great. Played poker. I was winning fantastically, huge amounts of fake Canadian money, which isn't really worth
Mhm.
that much money, but it seems like a
No.
lot of money because it sounds like a lot when you have it, but then
Mhm.
it's only
And it's
worth like
also
1/10.
colorful, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, that was fine. Bluffed it all off on a big bluff. In a hand I shouldn't have been in. I had the Jack 5 suited, which is a bad hand, but I was kind of splashing around because we were just having
Mhm.
fun at the table. It was a good bluff though. The guy should have folded probably. Definitely would have folded a bunch of other hands he has there. So I feel pretty good about it, but whatever. I won't get into poker here right now. Yeah, that was that trip. I assume Daniel got back. He was spending the night. I haven't heard from him, but hopefully
Daniel
he
is in
made
a
it back.
Canadian prison right
It's
now.
possible. It's a non-zero chance.
Yeah.
Um,
There are gonna be
yeah,
some very, very, very polite people knocking at your door soon saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Could you please come with us? I'm so
I can't
sorry."
prove anything. It's fine. Um, yeah. So the other thing we also did a little gambling the night before. I forgot to mention where we went to the casino with Caleb and taught him how to play craps. So that was
Oh,
very fun.
fun.
Yeah. Do you play craps? You a
No,
craps fan? Oh,
no.
we gotta get you on the craps table. So you should go listen to his podcast. He goes through that night and talks about it, but that was fun too. So yeah, so I spread a little degeneracy. Really broke the law. Although I think it's
Oh,
really more
no, no,
Daniel that
no.
broke the law.
Definitely,
I
definitely
don't know if
broke the
I
law.
broke the law. Okay. First of all, the
Yes.
driver was driving. I'm not legally responsible for Daniel Colborn. Okay. Like he's not my kid. He's an adult. He takes, it's fine.
Somebody's
I think
gotta
I'm
be
in the clear here.
responsible for him.
Somebody's got to go to jail.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's Wire Live. If they do it, it sounds like they may do it every other year or something like that. But if they do it again, highly recommended. Super fun, chill, laid back, everything you'd think it would be. Very, very entertaining
You've
conference.
got one
Really
on
cool.
here that just says Aaron MC, which obviously piques my curiosity. So what is
Oh,
Wire
yes.
Live
Oh,
Aaron
yeah, I forgot I
MC?
had notes in here. See, that's why I need outro where the notes just come up.
Well,
Um,
I'm losing hope every day, just for the record on that. But yes, this says Aaron MC.
yes!
I will be your outro.
Oh, on Caleb's podcast, he talked about this. That kind of the hardest part he thought was like the emceeing. He has new
Mhm.
appreciation for you and what you do.
Thought that was very nice.
No, it was very nice. And I think, yeah, I think next time we just got to outsource the emceeing. It's too hard to run the show
That
and
seems like a
MC.
lot.
Like
Yep.
it's too much to do. I think in general. They made it work and it was fine. It was probably one of the clunkier parts, especially till they kind of got their feet under them. Then I think
Mhm.
it was totally fine. But I also think just having done this myself, I would not necessarily want to be running it and doing a talk and being MC.
Yeah,
Like that's kind of a
that
lot, especially
seems
with
like a whole lot.
yeah, and especially if you're going to go the what they chose to do, which I think they could make a different choice here, but that they chose to do was do a question or two after the talk. Which like when I did the Laracon, we didn't really do that. It's like, okay, get off the stage,
Get
go on
off
to the
the
next one,
stage. Yeah.
right? And so I'm just emceeing like, there was a couple times maybe something funny came up and we had a little banter, but it wasn't like I'm going to ask every single
Right.
person a question. Which is how you do it and is how Laracon does it for the most part. So, current Laracon. So I think you could make a different decision there. And then you're just like getting up there and being like, thanks for coming. Next
Mhm.
speaker, which is a little more straightforward. But, if not, I think, and just in general, of course, you in particular would be awesome to have there. And I think it would be fun. So maybe we'll get you out there
I
in a
would love
couple
that.
years.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would totally
All
do it.
right. He's committed. We got
That
him.
would
We
be
got him,
fun.
Caleb.
Yep.
He's on. All right.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So that was great. It was great. Go to Buffalo. Use Livewire. Good stuff. Very good stuff.
All right, let's
all right.
before we lose all of our listeners because of what you're about to talk about,
Yeah.
why don't we give these poor sponsors? Let's read their ads before we Laravel new once again.
You think I'm gonna lose listeners on this? Are people gonna like rage quit the show?
I think
just like
Jesse is in the gym right now and he's adding weights to his sets because he's
Poor
so
Jesse.
furious.
Poor Jesse. He's his heart rate. He's got the
Yes.
Apple Watch on.
He's
it's
rage
just like
lifting right
yeah,
now.
it's just off the charts. It's like you're way in the red danger zone, dude. You gotta chill
Unbelievable.
out. He's not even
Yeah.
lifting the weights right now. It's just
No.
from listening. He's at 200 beats a minute
it's
there.
brutal.
All right, let's talk. We'll talk about Jesse. Bento, our favorite email marketing solution here. The email marketing and CRM platform teams actually love. Send your product, marketing, and transactional email with Bento. One app, all your marketing needs. Obviously, huge supporter of the show from day one. So thanks to Bento. Check them out at bentonow.com. And Flare by Spotsy, all-in-one error tracking and performance monitoring for your Laravel application. Flareapp.io/performance-monitoring, or get the overview of everything they do just at flareapp.io. So check them out. Thanks again to Spotsy for sponsoring the show. All
right, I'll open the segment.
Okay.
What the hell?
Dude, this is going to be like a 2-minute segment. Come on, this is easy.
That's my opening. You did Laravel new again?
First of all, it just feels so right when you're there in the terminal and you just type Laravel new, and you just
you're an
addict.
So
good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
You're an addict.
I had no choice.
Yes, you
choice.
Did.
No,
you
I didn't.
always have a choice.
So here's the deal. First of all, I tried to not do it. I did try, and I was like, you know what? Let me just see how far I can get with AI, right? AI is taking over the world. It's going to be our overlord soon. It should be able to convert this. Of course, it did a terrible job. It was insane. What it did was insane. Like, so
I've been telling you, but keep going.
Bad. Yeah. So I try. First of all, it doesn't know about Livewire 4, right? And the whole reason to convert this is like to get it to Livewire 4. So
okay, so the impetus,
the
the inciting incident is upgrade Outro V2
right
to Livewire. It was on Livewire 3 and you wanted to upgrade it to Livewire 4.
Yes. And not just, I mean, it could upgrade in place. Like nothing breaks. So it's fine. Like there's almost nothing to do to upgrade 3 to 4. Just in terms of Livewire itself, I could just upgrade it, right? But like the point is I wanted to use the new things. Like I want the new implementation. I want single file components. I want to use various, I want to use the new routing setup. There's a lot of things I want to use. Okay. So it's not just like, oh, it's Livewire 4, which would be easy. No, it's like we got to recode some of this stuff. So
And can you imagine, like, recoding stuff? Can you imagine that?
yeah, I can
Like an idiot? Like, you'd sit down at your keyboard and, like, you
yeah,
use your fingers like, oh,
I could do that.
can you
I could do
imagine?
that.
That's
So
terrible.
we're not there yet. So
Okay.
first I tried the AI. And I bundle up the Livewire 4 docs and whatever and blah, blah. It goes off for half an hour. It does stuff. The first time it gets to the end, okay, it's coded a bunch of stuff, okay? It
Yeah.
gets to the end, and its final message to me is it reverted it all to
No.
3.6.4 Livewire. There's nothing in Git. It undid everything it did. It
This is a
it
delight.
reverted back
This
to
is
nothing.
amazing.
So that didn't work. So then I messed with some stuff. I got to do an actual implementation, but it was all trash, as you might expect. So, okay, that's not going to work.
Okay.
So I could, of course, go through line by line with the AI and have it do it, or I could go through, and I started to go through because like, forget the AI. I'm just going to like start moving shit around, right? So I'm in there, I'm moving shit around. It just feels icky. You know, when you have all the stuff pointing in one place and a different place, now you're changing the whole structure of the app, not just like little parts, like the whole where the files live. There's a lot of stuff that's changing. And I just didn't feel good about it. You know, stuff's going to get left orphaned in places. I'm not trying to have weird orphan stuff. The only path forward was Laravel new. It was the only path forward.
This sounds so much like post hoc justification, but you know what? It's great for content.
It is
so
good.
I will allow it. This is
Yay!
objectively insane,
Yeah.
but it's going to drive a lot of comments. And so, you know, I'm kind of happy. That's great. That's great for me.
So I'll take the edge off it slightly. Okay.
Okay.
Here's
Tell
the
me.
thing. It's not the same as my last Laravel new.
Okay.
So my last Laravel new was like, okay, we are back at a blank slate.
Right.
I don't like how any of this stuff works in the UI, and we are going to reconceptualize what's going on here. That is not this. So this is I'm already almost done because it's much faster. Like all the actions and stuff are fine. Move them over.
Okay.
A bunch of other setup stuff and a middleware I have that does some shit and like whatever, all that stuff, move it over. Okay, fine. And all the like UI stuff I've done, I'm not getting into the UI. That will eventually, as I get through the last few parts I have to do, which is like kind of the biggest, chunkiest stuff that was implemented. Like that's all just moving over as is. I'm not redoing the UI. I'm not rethinking about how stuff works. So that part's all the same. Now I will have to re-implement some of that stuff in the Livewire 4 way with the new Livewire 4 sorting tricks and some of the other things that are been added and make it faster, better, stronger. So I will have to like hand code and think through those parts of it. Okay. So there'll be a little work there, but that's like literally a couple full page components that are at that stage of like, that's a fair amount of work and I'm going to have to work through it. 85% of this is copy and pasting. Most of the rest is not much more than copy and pasting and a couple, there'll be a couple hours of like work. And then I'll be back where I was. So this is a much shorter Laravel new. It's not quite as crazy.
It's not quite as crazy. I will grant you that. It is surprising, I will say. I am surprised, but it is not quite as crazy. That is acceptable.
It's not quite as crazy. I think the people will understand.
They won't, but are we still shooting for internal use before the calendar year is out?
I think so.
Okay. So that's a no.
So. Well, no, I think it's a yes. Because you know what? Thank you, Caleb. Caleb Porzio saved me a lot of work of stuff I would have had to figure out, which was weird, ugly stuff like cross column sorting and whatever, and weird edge bugs, I'm sure, and all that stuff. So now this is why this has hurt me the last couple weeks, I will tell you, in terms of motivation to work on it, so I basically haven't worked on it in a couple weeks because I'm like, once Caleb told me he's doing this, I'm like, well, like, this is like now it's like
wait and see.
Yeah, I kind of had to wait and see. I could have done other stuff, of course, but it's like, I'm just gonna wait because I knew I didn't want to go too far forward. And he introduces other cool stuff that I wish I used and all that. So I was like, I'm just gonna do nothing, and that's what I did. It's fine, and now I'm ready to move forward. So I think internal use end of year, I'm still on board.
See, this is why you're the boss, because you kind of just futz around, and then someone else goes off, does all the work, and comes back, and you're like, hey, all right, we did it, we did it. That is a team win. Yeah, I love that. That's great. There's something I could learn there.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta have other people in the mix with you. That's what I'm saying. Whether they work for you or they're just, you're just an idea man. In this case, I was just an idea man. I'm like, let me expose you to the idea. And Caleb was like, "Holy cow, that's a good idea." And he went off and did some cool stuff with it that now benefits all of us, which is really awesome and cool.
That is awesome.
So we'll see.
Okay. I still
I feel
believe in you. I think you can get there. I think you
it's
can get there.
possible.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, I'm not 100%, but that's my goal. I
Okay.
think it's possible. I'm still at like 75% chance it happens.
All right. It's
Yeah,
just us. It's just you, me, and producer Dave. That's all
yeah.
I'm looking for.
But I'm not a guy who ships like I don't want to ship something that's like non-functional, really. Like it's
We
got to be
mustn't
pretty
ship.
functional.
I
We
agree.
mustn't ship.
Yes.
I do, dude. That's gonna be great stickers. We mustn't ship. We have to do that. That's a great sticker. That's a great sticker. Sometimes
Stupid.
it's like I enjoy this part of the process of
Sure.
the uh, refactoring and time wasting
Mm-hmm.
and futzing.
Yep.
It's all part of it. It gives you time. See, here's the thing other people don't say about this. It gives you time to think about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're reevaluating, you're clarifying. So which can be bad sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's good. So far for me, I think it's been mostly positive in this round.
I will say the subconscious information processing phase is extremely valuable. I do this
Yes, yes.
whenever I'm prepping a talk is you just have to start as early as possible and then let it rest. And
Right.
then
Exactly.
you'll hear things in podcasts. You're like, oh, that's a good, I'll add that to my mental,
Hmm.
folio for this talk. Or you'll be thinking about, oh, I just thought up the perfect example while I was driving to get,
Yep.
Chipotle. And so there is
Exactly.
I totally agree. So the background processing is very, very, very valuable. So that part I agree with.
Yes.
And of course it's very different because it is, your side project. You're not trying to
Right.
indie hack to 10K MRR to support your family. So lots of the normal rules don't apply. Still
I agree.
insane, but you're
It's
free to be
insane.
insane on your own time. That's
Right.
fine. We all are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So okay.
That's how I feel about it. Yes. This is like I think I said in the very beginning of this whole like when I started outro, I was like, this is not for like you should not necessarily follow my path here, listener, who wants to have their own business and does not
Mm-hmm.
have their own business yet. Like this is maybe it is the play, but maybe it's not the play. Like probably you should be trying to get out to market quicker, uh, because it's important to find out if anybody even cares about your idea. Whereas I don't care if anybody cares about my idea in this case, and so I'll just gonna do whatever I want. So that's like the difference there.
Good
But
spot to be in.
yeah, it's a nice spot to be in. So the other thing is I have a lot of other stuff going on, right? Like
Of course.
family stuff, house stuff, business stuff, and the main line business. So that just takes me longer. Like this is where like there's I'm getting older, the brain's foggier, all the
Mhm,
stuff. It's
mhm.
like having the extra time, I feel like is also nice because there's not that much opportunity to have those thoughts you're talking about where stuff just pops in your head. So it's like, I just physically need more time to have more opportunity to have
Mhm.
more of those thoughts creep in that are like, oh, this would be a cool thing, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
The old mental
So yeah.
clock speed's, slowing
Yeah,
down
it's
a little
slowing
bit, so
down.
we gotta give it a
Exactly.
little more wall clock time. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine. That's
exactly, and
fine.
it's
That's
filled with
fine.
other stuff, it's like there's just not the room always to let those things get in there, so, yeah, that's
Hey.
my excuse system anyway, and I think it's pretty
No,
strong.
it's great. I have
Yeah.
never heard such rich and varied excuses. This
Yeah,
is amazing.
I got plenty of
Yeah,
excuses, yeah,
this is
yeah,
awesome. Everyone
yeah,
take note that these
yeah.
excuses are well thought out.
This is what they could be learning about when they don't ship.
Mhm.
I will come up with very good reasons why I haven't
Yep,
shipped
totally.
and why my life isn't what I want it to be.
Mhm.
I have a big list of very good excuses. So take that, listeners, as something to learn.
Another great takeaway on today's episode. We are unreliable and full of excuses.
Yes.
Tell your kids to listen to the show so
Oh
they can learn
man.
as well. On a different note, my life
Mm.
is exactly what I want. We're doing
Okay.
great over here. We're doing
Yes.
great.
Woohoo.
We clicked in. We
You
found a
have.
little rhythm.
Okay.
The social media blocking has been
Mhm.
instrumental.
Yes. I love
Instrumental.
it.
Life changing.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I'm still blocked till noon every day.
Okay. Mhm.
Um I've started blocking more often in the evenings as well. Like
Mhm.
before, obviously overnight it bricks itself so that in the morning
Mhm.
when I wake up, but I've started doing it voluntarily before
Yep.
bedtime as well. And I've started reading books.
Whoa.
I know.
With
I don't
your
know if you ever
eyes or
heard of them.
audiobook?
Both.
Okay.
So I have for drive around time, I have an audiobook, and I've
Okay. Yep.
replaced many podcasts, not all, I still listen to some. I've replaced many podcasts with the audiobook.
Mhm.
Which right now is Cal Newport's Digital Minimalism. He's the guy that wrote
Hmm.
Deep Work. He's written a couple others. This one is Digital Minimalism. It's very good. So that's my drive around book. When I get to work, when I get here to the studio in the morning, I start by like spending about 30 minutes reading. It's great.
Oh,
I
right.
come in, I've got my
Yeah.
coffee that I just drove through and picked up, walk in, open the sliding glass door because it's cold outside now,
Oh, it's
and I sit
cold.
there. It is.
Mhm.
It hits
Mhm.
like sometimes it
It's like
gets into the
65.
50s. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
I know.
Brutal.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Mhm.
And then read for about 30 minutes, and then I'm reading at home. So I have my office book and I have my home book. At
Oh,
home,
double book. Okay.
double,
Triple book,
triple because of the
actually.
audio.
Yeah.
At home, I'm reading a book called The Intellectual Life, and I kid you
Mm.
not, this is the best book I've ever read.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
The best book I have ever read.
Is it an old-timey book? Like,
It is
what's the
an
deal with this?
old-timey book. It
Oh, I
was
love an
written in the
old-timey book.
20s. Written
Okay.
in the 20s
Yeah.
by, you'll have to forgive me, I don't know my orders very well. I think it's a Dominican monk, maybe a Benedictine monk. I don't know.
Okay.
That's not really
Mhm.
my side of the religion. I don't know the
Right.
monks that well.
Mhm.
But it's
A little
really
monk.
interesting. It's interesting how much he's like, oh, in this day and age, you
That's
really
funny.
have to fight hard for your attention. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, you
Oh my
have
goodness.
no
Wow.
idea.
Could you imagine dropping that guy into 2025,
Oh, no
Be
way. He would
wild.
instantly explode. And it's really interesting to read a book that's 100 years old, which is, ostensibly the same spiritual genre as business books, right? It's not a business book, but it's like, self-improvement, that kind of
Right.
stuff. So it's close enough to business books.
It's not a
Business bit
fictional book from
No,
100 years ago, which
it's
is like
not.
it's irrelevant, like that's 100
And
years
it's
old
it's
kind of
not like a
like
book about, the Spanish War. It is like
right,
how to
right.
improve yourself, but
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
And these days, business books, personal development, self-help, whatever, it's like they had one idea and then they filled 180 pages with one
Right.
idea. With
Yes.
one idea.
Right.
This
Yeah.
book, every single page is something new. It's all
Wow.
built around this, like, how to live, like, a
Mhm.
life of, like, studiousness and seeking knowledge and truth. It's all built around that idea, but it's not just like, I haven't ever read Atomic Habits, but I
Mhm.
get it from the title.
Right. Right.
I could read a blog post about Atomic Habits and be like,
Yeah.
I got the idea. This
Right.
one, every chapter, every page is something new and practical. Very, very, very
Mm.
practical. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's so good. I'm only like, I guess now I'm probably 60% of the way through. But yeah, I read a lot this weekend and I'm just like highlighting stuff on every page. So I'm
Yeah.
feeling great.
What's your note-taking strategy for the physical book? Are you just physically highlighting and
I
that's it? Are you
physically
bringing
highlight.
digital or
No,
okay.
I physically highlight. I haven't
Mhm.
gotten any further than that. In fact, at the end, one of the last chapters in the book is about note taking, and so we'll see. That may change.
Should have read that first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should have started there first. But yeah, right now, and this is how I do my technical studies as well. Is I just, as I'm reading and something stands out to me, I highlight it. When I'm
Yeah.
doing technical reading, I also have, I don't know if I have any around here, but I have sticky note flags, just like
Mhm.
post-it notes, colorful post-it notes that I've cut such that
Okay.
they're really thin and a little bit short, and then I just flag the top of the page so that I
Yeah.
know every page that has a flag has a highlight, and I should go back and review it before I start,
Ah.
prepping the material.
Okay.
So I'm not like flipping page by page and being like, I haven't highlighted anything in
Right.
30 pages. But on this one, I haven't done that. But I don't know. I imagine I'll go back through and maybe write out some synopses of like the chapters and maybe pull out some of
Mhm.
my favorite highlights or something. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure. I'll let you know when I get to the note taking section of the book.
Yeah.
Um, but it's very good. It is I didn't know that this was a religious book at all. And I wouldn't
Mm.
say that it's actually religious. It talks a lot about like, how seeking good and truth is similar to seeking God, and so it like combines those things somewhat
Mhm.
often. I had no idea it was, written by a monk. I don't even
Mm.
know where I found it. I probably saw it on Twitter, was
Yeah.
like, I'll buy it. It showed up. And then like 2 months later, I'm like, huh, I wonder what this book is. And I open it up.
Mm.
So that part was like a pleasant surprise. The beginning
Yeah.
is all about why this is a good thing for I think they continue to say Catholic, but why this is a good thing
Mm.
for the Christian person to do, to seek knowledge and be studious and like focus and
Right.
concentrate. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on board with that. I happen to believe
Right.
that as well. But then the rest of the book is all about like how to prepare your evenings and your mornings, and
Ooh.
the fact that you have responsibilities and like you can't just like wander out into the wilderness, and how it's like you can become an intellectual on 2 hours a day. You just need to
Hmm.
focus, and here are ways to focus, and here are things you can do. And it's like, this is amazing. This is
Yes.
so perfect for this like phase I'm going through of like I need to get my
Yeah.
brain back, and I
Yeah.
just happened to pick this up off my nightstand at the perfect time. So I am just thrilled to death with this book. It's
Wow.
fantastic. Yeah,
Okay. This is exciting. This sounds like
very
yeah,
much.
I like the idea. Is it a big fat book? Is it a skinny book? What's the deal?
It's
Medium
a
book?
little guy, it's a five by
Oh, I
seven
love a
paperback,
little book.
but
Oh, that's
it's
good.
like 200
Okay.
pages, but it's a five by
Oh,
seven paperback. So it's not like a
ah.
big textbook or anything. It's like an old school. It's kind of like
Mm,
Think and Grow Rich, if you've seen that in the bookstores. It's like a
okay.
little, paperback you'd buy at the airport. But it's you can just tell it's written from another time. But it is
Right.
it is pretty dense. I handed it to
Okay, yeah.
Jennifer.
That's my question, yeah.
Yeah, I handed it to Jennifer, and she's like, "I'm gonna be honest, I had to reread some of these lines like 5 or 6 times." It's like it's just like a whole paragraph is one sentence just filled with commas, and you're like, "Oh man,
Right.
we don't write like that anymore, do we?" Yeah. So
Okay.
it takes a minute to like. I recommended it to Jason Beggs, and I told him like, dude, I had to like relearn how to read. It feels
Right.
like I'm like reading this. I'm like, hold on, I didn't catch any of that. Back
Right.
up, and so I'm getting there. I'm getting used to it.
It's good practice for your focusing too, because you have to, like
It
you can't just, like,
is.
quickly read it. You have to, like, "Oh, I have to
No.
pay attention to every sentence and, like,
Yes.
really figure out what this is trying to say here." Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So that has been delightful, and I've been just blowing through these intro to Postgres videos. I've been like just knocking
Okay.
them out. And so I did it a little bit different this time in that I prepared all of the material in written form. Normally I'm
Mhm.
like I get an outline with some bullet points. I sit down to record a video, and I like prepare the video and then record it. And then I
Mm.
prepare the next video and then record it, which ends up taking a
Mhm.
long time.
Right.
But I think in some, you have to spend the time somewhere. And this time I decided to spend the time up front preparing
Mm.
all of the videos. So that took a while. And now I'm just like going out there and hitting record and doing it. And it's like it's working. The chalkboard, I'm using it at
Oh,
appropriate
yes.
times.
Okay.
I don't feel like it's kitschy. I don't feel like I
Okay.
have to use it. I'm still using the screen a ton. But there
Mhm.
are times where I'm like, if I were in the studio, I would be like using my hands to try to like, illustrate some point that
Right.
really I am visualizing. And now out there I can just draw it and be like, see, when this goes here and that goes there, it's like, hey, Bob's your uncle. And it just works so much better. And so that was my last big fear was I did all this stuff. It looks beautiful, but
Yeah.
in practice, is it going to be helpful? Is it going to be useful?
Right.
And I have decided it is very helpful and it is very useful.
Very cool. Jamie had some feedback for you on this
Tell me.
topic, which is she likes the idea of the bathroom set.
She does.
She wants the bathroom set,
Okay.
okay? But, like, in the concept of I don't know if you know have you ever watched, like, Alton Brown?
I've never heard that
Okay,
person's
okay.
name.
Oh, man. Alright, so Alton Brown, you should look him up on, like, Instagram would be the best
Okay.
place. But Alton Brown is a famous chef, and he had a
Mhm.
food TV show, like, in the '90s or early 2000s or whatever, and it was awesome because he's, like, really science-based,
'Kay.
and he would have all these shticks, and he'd be, like, basically in different rooms and stuff, and so he's kinda brought that to Instagram, so that show's, long over, and I'm sure he's very rich or whatever, but it's now he does it just himself as people do now on Instagram and probably
Mhm.
TikTok, wherever. And he's always in like a different spot. And I don't know if you need to take
Mm.
it this far, right? But like he's in his kitchen, he's on his back patio, he's wherever. Like and he's got like, oh, I took these, like he did one recently where he was talking about oh geez, I don't know if it was like some kind of protein or like whatever, gluten or something, and it was
Mhm.
like he made them, he like made the molecules out of pipe cleaners, and he
Mm.
like squished them all together and like put them in a thing, and it talks how they expand or whatever. So he's like always doing like just little practical things like that, and in different sets. So that's
Keeps
Alton
it
Brown kind of
live.
vibe.
Keeps
Yeah, like
keeps it
maybe you just
poppy.
show up in the bathroom one day, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, but you're writing on the screen, like with one of those on the screen writer things,
Uh-huh,
right? That
uh-huh,
records it.
uh-huh.
Or like whatever, not like you going to the bathroom, just like as another
Sure. No
set
potty humor,
option.
yeah.
Right. Or maybe you're out by the pool one day or whatever. But like, I thought it could be
I
interesting
like
to
that,
keep it
yeah.
lively, and just have some different, because that's something you never ever see in any of these
No.
kind of videos, like three, four,
These
five different sets. It's
these
always just like
goobers are
one
never
set,
leaving their
right?
desk, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's
Alright.
there's your feedback from Jamie.
Tell
But
I appreciate that, Jamie, I appreciate the thoughtfulness. Okay,
yeah,
I
you
will
could,
consider that. I'll look up Alton Brown and see, if there's
yeah,
anything to be gleaned there.
he's just cool in general. It's Everybody should check out Alton Brown. Really fun food content. But anyway, okay. So the set's working,
Set's
the
working,
videos are working. How far are we
videos
on
are
the
working.
videos?
I'd say we're about slightly less than halfway through on the
Okay.
actual recording.
Yeah.
And the editor is crushing it. The new
Ooh.
editor.
Yep.
So this is the guy that edited Mastering Postgres and High Performance SQLite.
So
It's
perfect.
one of the guys that Steve found and is friends with, and he actually lives in Idaho near Steve. And yeah, he's doing the multicam and the audio processing. He's just doing it all, and it's like
Yep.
it's working. It's expensive, which I've said before, but
Get
it's
what you pay
worth it.
for.
Yep, you
Yep.
get what you pay for. And I want somebody that is going to one, do the work on time, and then two,
It's
do it
big.
well. And he's,
Yeah.
he's doing both. So
Nice.
it's working. I feel like things have maybe turned a corner. Like maybe, sorry to Fideloper, I think the dread might be receding. The existential
Oh
dread.
boy.
Yeah, we might
Okay.
be at either. I guess we're at an ebb. The dread was at a flow for a while, and we might be at an ebb. We're either waxing or waning. Whichever phase of the moon is
Right.
where
Who
it's
knows
the
which is
good
which?
one.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting better. I think we're doing good.
So now what about, are you going to give yourself some metric of some sort for, so this is been paid for and is being
I
released
know.
free, right?
Yes.
So in some ways it's like, well, okay, like you've been paid to
Right.
do the work, you do the work, you ship the work. That's kind of it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But are we going to add some kind of metric about like how many mastering Postgres courses we sell off this launch of the free course, or like, I don't know, or maybe it's just views and getting yourself out there. But I don't know. I feel like you could construct
Well,
something there.
there should be metrics. The wait list for Intro to Postgres has gotten many thousands of signups,
Oh,
and so I
okay.
feel like that is an objective metric which I am happy with. Moving forward, so that's like a leading indicator. I think moving forward, um, I need to know how many people sign up for what will be the subscription platform of
Right.
Database School. How many
Yep.
people sign up for the free tier of that to watch one of these courses that has been corporate sponsored, right?
Yep.
So Supabase is sponsoring Intro to Postgres. How many people watch the first 3 videos of Intro to Postgres, get hit with the email gate that says, hey, this is still free, but you got to sign up, and
Right.
then convert to signed up? Because at that point, then I feel like that's somebody that's captured into my world that I can
Yep.
market on Black Friday or tell them about mastering Postgres or whatever.
Yep.
And so there needs to be some metric for that, because I will be doing more of these going forward. So
Right.
I've said before, Supabase is in process. I have another deal that has been papered. It's
Ooh,
signed. It's done. We're good. I have
nice.
another deal that is in negotiations. Pretty far. Like we've gotten to dollar amounts and deliverables.
Okay.
It has not been signed. And then I have another deal that is just in like exploratory phase. And so
Mm.
this might be the pattern going forward, which is do these
Yeah.
big deals and then do the other stuff. And I'm like, I think it could work. The deals are big enough where if I do a few of them, like, I can pay Kelsey and I can, pay the mortgage and keep building something here. So we might be on the path to sustainability, which feels pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, man. Even like at the very least, you have now a year to 2 years of runway out there
Hmm.
to give everything a chance to happen,
Yep.
right? And
Hmm.
Um, that's certainly sufficient time to see if people want to buy database training on subscription and all that kind of stuff. And I think the key part of all this too is it's like it's not just the money giving you runway, but it's giving you the opportunity to collect email addresses
Totally.
and market to
Yep.
people on an ongoing basis. So that's kind of the real value long term, is that
Yep.
now you're bringing these people into the fold who hopefully you can convert to sales. Yeah, I mean that all sounds really good. Yeah,
I would
that's
say
great.
on I would say on the corporate deals alone, I think database school is the thing I will focus on for at least another 18 months. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like there was
yeah,
there was a period of time where it was like, I'm gonna try this, and if this thing doesn't work, it's over.
yeah.
And I think
Right. Yes, you were in
I have
that.
enough indication now that like maybe the subscription base is a miss, or it takes a super long time to build or something like that. But I have enough like corporate money that's saying I want you to do this for us,
Right.
that I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, well, I think there's also too, like, you don't know where you're going, right? The journey is the
No.
destination, and all that stuff. So, like, you're out there, you're selling something people are paying money for, which is
Mhm.
more than most people ever even get to, right?
Yes.
So, like,
Yes.
you're already that is successful. And so now that gives you lots of options. So, phase one is database school. Ideally, that just works out. People are paying subscriptions. These two things obviously work together nicely. And then 3 years from now, maybe you're even transitioning away from more corporate stuff and you
Sure.
just have database school, whatever. Okay, that's like the A plan. But whatever, people who like to pay you for this would probably like to pay you, or different types of companies would pay you for different versions of this same
Right.
thing in different programming ish industries, which would open up a whole new group of
Mhm.
corporations to do stuff. And then whatever. So you have lots of options. But yeah, I think that's all good. And you can kind of see where the road
Yeah.
takes you
I
as you
mean,
go, you know?
it's entirely possible that like the subscription thing for the end user falls totally flat. Everything becomes free, and I just let database companies put their names on database school. Like, just you
Content.
buy
Yeah.
ads on this
Right.
website where there
Yeah.
are videos. It's like
I mean, I
that's
think that's
been
totally a
done
viable
before.
solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, just doing more, even some of that stuff wakes its way back to YouTube, even or whatever. And you have sponsorship opportunities
Yep.
there. And like you just do an ad based business, totally standard. I do think like the nice thing about the database zone is that the companies there have plenty of money
They do.
and not a lot of ways to reach their customers
Right.
that are obvious. And so that part is really nice because there's not that many sort of database influencers, and you are one of them. And
Mhm.
so that's a pretty good spot. So yeah, then it's just like, how much can I charge those companies? How much can I charge individuals? Maybe you can't charge individuals. Maybe individuals won't pay. Fine. Then the companies can pay, which is how lots of content works, right?
Yep.
You're not
Mhm.
inventing anything here. This is
Nope.
just like, yeah, charge for advertising on content people like, but are not willing to pay for themselves. Like that's the whole basis of YouTube and a million other products, right?
Yep.
Television, the whole thing. It's all that. So
A little
yeah,
company called Google. I mean, that's
Google,
they
right?
make a little
Yeah,
money off ads. Like this has
right. I'm
been
going to let
done
you
before.
search the
Yeah.
internet for free. And then what you're paying for, with is your attention on these ads. And
Yep.
so I think that's fine. Maybe it's even like somewhere in the middle, right? Where like maybe there's a core group of database people who are willing to pay and so you charge them more.
Yeah,
And
maybe so.
you're not trying to go so wide with it. It's like, well, there's only a sliver of the group that's willing to pay, but they're actually price elastic
Right.
and are willing to pay twice or three times as much as I thought as the price point of like what I feel like the most I could get away with for the average programmer, right? And so maybe you can charge them $40 a month when you thought you could only charge 19 to the average programmer or whatever. Who
Mhm.
knows? Whatever the price are. So maybe that's even like ends up being a thing where there is some like more advanced stuff or whatever, and it's just for the subscriptions, but you have the mainstream stuff that's ad supported. There are lots of options there, I do
Yep.
think. And yeah, well, you got to do the work, which is as we talked about.
I know.
So you're doing it. It's happening. We're gonna find
Yep.
out, which is gonna be very exciting from my
And I think
perspective for
that's
the
been
show.
a
And
huge anxiety reducer too, is like
yeah,
having done a lot of the work now, I feel like it's good. And I feel like
yeah, okay,
it's
that's good.
moving. I think there was this big question in the back of my mind of, when I get out there and start teaching, is it going to work? Or am I going to
Really,
realize, yeah,
you've been
it's
doing it
just,
though.
well, I know that I can teach. I don't have any doubts about that. I know
Okay.
that in person I can teach at a whiteboard. I did that for many,
Mm,
many years. The
mm,
question is, can I get out there in this new format with all this new technology, we talked about the lav mic, I think, and
Right.
how stressful that was. All these cameras, all these files, all this, and then can I do the switch from screen to board in a way that
Mm,
is like compelling and helpful, not just
right.
different. Different
Yeah.
is good, but different is not good enough. It has to be
Right.
helpful. It has to be
Yeah.
compelling. And
Right.
until I actually did it, it's an open question. There is
Right.
a possibility it didn't work, but
Yeah.
I'm convinced that it works.
There you go. I guess
Yep.
that part of it is like, since you're not using the like having the animation or like
Yeah.
that element of things, like that transition. So yeah. But even that transition could always be solved with money. Like at the end of the day, like if you had to charge
Mhm.
more or make it work and hire somebody to do this motion graphic stuff, like could happen, even if
Could.
it's
Would have
cuts into the
been
margins and
a
all that kind
blow.
of
It would
stuff.
have been
But right.
emotional, like,
Right.
God dang it, I
Right.
freaking messed up again. So that would have been frustrating. But yes, it would have been doable.
Yeah. Okay. So that sounds good. When are we launching that sucker?
I don't know. Next couple weeks, probably. Yeah.
Before Black Friday, hopefully?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright.
Yep.
I think I like the idea of good.
Gonna try to roll the whole thing into like intro to Postgres is out, Black Friday discount, get everything all at
Mhm.
once, and then quickly follow. This is breaking news, not to you, you know this, but for the dear listener, quickly follow with Advent of SQL. So I'm gonna do
Mm.
a December challenge on like SQL, exercises, storylines, that kind of stuff. So something fun for the people to practice with. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you wanna tell that story or
Yeah, I would love to.
tell that story?
There's a guy that reached out, and let me see what his new one is. Here we go. There's a guy that reached out and was like, "Hey, I own adventofsequel.com." And I'm like, "That's pretty good. That's pretty good." And he said, "I ran it last year, and I've got a few thousand people on the list that ran through these like 24 or 25 days of SQL challenges." And I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." And the email went on to say, "Do you want it for free?" And I'm like, wait, what? And so I emailed him back and I was like, "What are you talking about? Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think you're the best person for it. I don't want to run it again this year. I'm actually moving on to adventofvibecoding.com. The challenge starts
Okay.
in 27 days. So adventofvibecoding.com,
That's cool.
which is very cool. So Dan Kentfield, whose his Twitter handle is not a vibe coder. So this is good. I think he's actually like a proper engineer.
Mm,
And he's doing this as a way to like help vibe coders become proper engineers.
right.
So yeah, he reached out and was like, "Sure, I'll hand it over to you. Let me transfer the domain. Let me get the email export. Like, here's all the challenges I did last
Wild.
year. Like, good luck, have fun." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So
That's crazy.
I told him that at some point in the future, I'll give him, free ad reads, shout outs, whatever, because he refused
Right.
to let me pay.
Right.
So y'all definitely go check out Advent of Vibe Coding and
Yep.
be on the listen for more nice things about Dan Kentfield, because he's a very nice guy that donated Advent of Sequel to
You
me.
just
So I'll
put
be
yourself
running.
out there.
I
People
know
give
stuff
you business
happens. It's
opportunities.
crazy. So Kelsey and I are working together on coming up with challenges and increasing difficulty and light storylines to keep it fun and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So hopefully that'll bring in some cast a wider net than just like people that follow me. So
Yep.
that'll be fun. So thanks to Dan for donating adventofsequel.com.
That's cool. I
I
love it.
know. So nice.
Crazy. Alright, alright, we're pretty long here. What do we wanna do? Do we wanna save this other stuff next week? Do we wanna do one more? What do you think? You wanna just
I
keep
think we should
going?
I think we should save it. I'm gonna kill the ramp office campaign. The
I wasn't sure
moment
what
has
that was.
passed.
Okay.
They got Kevin from the office to do a B2B SaaS campaign, and it was really good. But you know what?
Ah,
Happened a few weeks ago. Now it's out of the
it's
cultural
done.
milieu. It's
It's
over.
done.
Yeah, let's save because I want to do HelpSpot 20 year. I want to give it the justice it deserves.
Right.
So
Yeah, I wanna do that on its
let's
own.
save that one for next time.
Alright, you wanna close on the horse? Should we close the
Let's
horse, or
close
do you
on the
wanna
horse. Give us the
alright,
details. Is the horse
alright.
alive?
We made people wait for the horse till the end,
We
'cause people
did.
love the horse content. You
People
had to listen
love
to the
the
whole
horse
show.
content. Yeah.
We're thinking about pivoting the horse content exclusively, but,
This is news
um
to me, but yes, okay.
yeah.
That's great.
the itty bit guy. He said he loved the horse content. That's what put him
That's
over the top.
true. It's bringing in the sponsors. Yeah.
And
Okay.
what other topics have we talked
Follow the
about
money. You're right. You're
where
right.
they've
You're right. You're right.
directly referenced the content?
That
Only
is
horse
true.
content.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll keep this short and sweet. We were very scared about the cost of the horse content,
Yep.
or the horse, not horse content, horse situation. So I'm not going to rehash here. Listen to last week, but it turns out everything's okay. The owner, I think, didn't put us on her insurance like she was supposed to, which is a problem.
That is.
But she ended up paying for the bills herself so that she could submit them to insurance, because like you kind of have to like be on the insurance. If we had paid the bills, that would have been weird to submit to insurance because we're nobody since we weren't put on the insurance. So she paid the bill. She's submitting to insurance. She's dealing with it. So in the end, we have not lost too much money. We only lost the rest of this lease. So the last 6 months of the actual cost of the lease, but we're not paying for the horse anymore in the barn. So that part's okay. So we're kind of getting money back, so to speak. And we didn't really pay much of the vet bills in general. Maybe there's like going to be a small.
What a fantastic outcome.
So it's all
That's great news.
Roses. It's great news. We're not out many thousands of dollars, and yeah, everything's hunky-dory. So we're on the horse train still. We got to find a new horse, but that is a process.
That is a great outcome that could have gone totally the other way.
There we go.
I heard from a friend of the show, Mark Jaquith, that horses can't throw up, and that is why it's so problematic, because they can't throw up. And I told him, I wish I was a horse because I hate throwing up. And he said the other option is your stomach explodes. And I was like, well, okay. And then 4 days later, I threw up.
What?
And I texted Mark.
Hold on.
Yeah, I texted Mark and said, I wish I was a horse / I'm glad I'm not a horse because I vommed. And I freaking hate throwing up. Hate it.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Hate it.
The last night of my gallbladder situation before they were like hacking it out was like the hardest throwing up I've ever done in my life. Like I had pains in other parts of my body. Things have been strained like nuts. But we can't just walk past this. You were throwing up. What happened?
I don't know.
Too much booze? Sick?
Oh no, gosh, no.
Food poisoning? No,
I'm not living that much of a fun life. I don't know. It was not. It wasn't an all night thing, fortunately.
Okay.
So I don't think it was a sickness. It was a one set. You know how waves come in sets. It was a one set. So it was like a 3 individual, but a one set.
Right.
And I have been sick for a while, but that's just with like a common cold. But it's been a while. I don't know. Jennifer thinks she gave me a bunch of like hippy dippy woo woo, vitamins and stuff. And I took them on an empty stomach, and she was like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, well, you should have told me that. Like, don't just hand me pills and expect me not to take them.
Right.
And she thinks that it just upset my stomach and I vommed. But praise be, it was only one set and not an entire night of vomiting. So who knows? But it was not.
That seems
ideal.
likely. I think that seems likely. Those things can be hard on your stomach. I don't do too much of the vitamins just because it's like it's totally unregulated. I don't know. The whole thing is like very hand wavy to me.
One of them she's given me is oregano, and so I got the oregano burps for like an hour after. And I'm like, what are we doing with oregano? How's that gonna help me? Rub vanilla on my toes. That'll do the same thing. But I don't know.
So it could be the vitamins. I mean, we actually have had. We didn't even talk about this in the beginning because we jumped right into Wire Live. But everybody's sick in my house. They're all sick.
Of course.
And everybody's got like flu-like symptoms, whatever. I somehow don't have it, but I always get it last, so I assume I'll be getting it shortly. So you got this like cloud over your head where you just know you're gonna be out of commission here by the end of the week. But my daughter had it first, and her good friend had it before her, and she had throwing up with it. So we are very happy that we don't have the throwing up version. So if you were sick for a while, but I would think you would have had that early on, getting sick, not like towards the end. So yeah. Okay, well, you did have some puke. It's been a big couple weeks here. You got a lot going on.
Got a lot going on, man. Got a lot going on.
At least
but
it was
hey,
one time. Yeah,
we're on the up and up. Things are looking good.
good.
The clouds are clearing. I think we're doing okay.
Yes. All right. We're ending on an optimistic note.
That's right.
Things are going forward. I like it. You should Laravel knew something, maybe just cleanse the system further. It's always fun to do that.
I'm happy for you, but I'm not doing that.
Oh, it's so good. So good. I actually had some other idea to Laravel new, but I was like, I can't have another different idea going. It's just there's no time for that. So not doing that. But I just Laravel knew the same project over and over. That's my
Yeah,
plan.
yeah, clearly.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, listeners. Sorry we missed a week for you, but I think we made up for it. And sponsor the show. Got a new sponsor this month. It's great. We need more new sponsors.
And
So do that.
you never know what sweet hangs we'll throw in the middle of the month, and you'll get your
You
money's
never
worth
know.
on a sweet hang.
Exactly. Everybody got their right amount of shows this month.
That's
We
true.
provided. Don't worry about that.
And Jeffrey brought the
So
views, so they maybe even
Jeffrey
they
did.
got more impressions.
They got bonus views.
That's
So
right.
mostlytechnical.com, subscribe, all the stuff, sponsor. Thanks everybody. And we will be back next week. Talk to you later.
See ya.